Have you ever felt too small to make a difference? Like your efforts don't matter because the world is just too big? Let me tell you the story of an ant, a creature so small, yet with a heart bigger than any mountain. This is the ant that refused to quit once. In a vast field near a quiet village, there lived a colony of ants. Every morning they marched out together, a disciplined army of tiny workers, each with a purpose, each with a dream, to build a strong, thriving home before the rainy season came. Among them was a small ant named Timo. Timo was smaller than the rest. His legs were shorter, his back weaker, and his load always seemed heavier. But what he lacked in strength, he made up for with heart. Every day, Timo carried crumbs twice his size, stumbling and slipping, but never stopping. The other ants often laughed. "Why bother, Timo? You can't carry that much anyway." But Timo would smile and say, "Maybe not today, but one day I'll carry more than any of you." One afternoon, dark clouds gathered above the meadow. The sky rumbled and the first drops of rain began to fall. The colony rushed to carry their food underground. Panic filled the air. Timo ran as fast as he could with a single grain of rice on his back. But halfway home, a strong gust of wind blew him off the path and into a puddle. He struggled. The water swirled around him. His tiny legs kicked against the current. He shouted for help, but the others couldn't hear him over the roaring rain. The grain of rice slipped from his back and sank into the muddy water. For a moment, Timo just floated there, exhausted, defeated. Maybe they were right, he thought. Maybe I am too small. Then he looked up. On the other side of the puddle, he saw a leaf floating, just within reach. He thought, if I can climb on that leaf, maybe I can still get home. And so, inch by inch, he fought the current. He pushed, he slipped, he tried again. It wasn't easy. Every move burned, every second felt like an eternity. But finally, he reached it. He climbed onto the leaf, soaked and shivering, but alive. The wind carried the leaf closer to the colony's hill. When the rain stopped, the others found him, bruised but smiling. When the sun rose the next morning, something extraordinary happened. The flood had washed away most of their food supply. The colony was in danger, unless someone found more. The queen called for volunteers to scout for new food. Everyone hesitated, except Timo. He stood up and said, "I've been through worse." "Let me try," he marched out alone, retracing the flooded path, climbing over twigs and leaves until he found a piece of bread. Massive, waterlogged, but still good. With all his strength, he broke it apart, bit by bit, and carried it home. It took him hours, but he didn't stop. When he finally returned, the others were speechless. The smallest ant had brought back more food than the strongest of them ever had. From that day forward, the colony stopped laughing at him. Instead, they followed him, because they realized greatness isn't about size, but about spirit. Life will throw rainstorms your way. Winds will push you off your path. People may laugh at your efforts, call you too small, too weak, too late. But like Timo the ant, keep going, because every tiny step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. And one day, those who doubted you will look at your journey and say, "How did you make it?" And you'll smile because you know you never stop trying. If you feel small today, don't give up. If your dreams seem too far, take one more step. Remember Timo. Remember the ant that refused to quit. Comment below, "I'll keep moving forward," if you're choosing persistence today. Follow for more stories that remind you, even the smallest can achieve the biggest dreams.